Welcome to this month's edition of Outlook Video, your nationally recognized award-winning show for gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender communities. I'm Roberta Gonzalez-Gregg.
And I'm Tom Smith. We dedicate this month's show to World AIDS Day, observed on December 1st, whose theme this year is Stop AIDS, Keep the Promise.
According to UNAIDS estimates, there were 37.2 million adults and 2.2 million children living with AIDS at the end of 2004. And during the year, 4.9 million people became newly infected with the virus. About half of all those people became infected with HIV before 25 and are killed by AIDS before they're 35.
Wow. About 95% of people with HIV/AIDS live in developing nations, but HIV today is a threat to men, women, and children on all continents around the globe. Started in 1988, World AIDS Day is not just about raising money, but also about increasing awareness, education, and fighting prejudice. World AIDS Day is important in reminding people that HIV has not gone away and that there are many things still to be done.
What do you say after "I'm sorry" when a loved one dies? In our People Like Us segment, my guest will be Janet Childs, Director of Education at the Center for Living with Dying. I'll be talking with Ms. Childs about her 28 years of helping people deal with the numerous issues of grief, loss, trauma, and serious illness through education, counseling, and support.
I had the opportunity to interview Dr. Michael Harbour, whose Palo Alto practice supports many in our community living with AIDS. Kim Lawson and I captured it on tape, and we will bring that to you later in the show.
Following that, Bruno will bring us information on local AIDS resources.
John Reed Sims was a musician, conductor, and one of the many gay men lost to AIDS in 1984. His legacy is a San Francisco Lesbian Gay Freedom Band that still performs to this day. The band's Dance-Along Nutcracker continues to delight children and adults in its annual wacky performance of Tchaikovsky's Christmas Dreamscape, while audience members pirouette around the dance floor. Buddy Symes of the San Francisco Lesbian Gay Freedom Band talks to Raymond Donald Hong about the Dance-Along Nutcracker, which is to ballet what the Beta Breakers is to marathon running. You'll enjoy that.
It doesn't matter how many times I hear about the Dance-Along Nutcracker, my mind still runs wild. And I can just imagine you in a tutu.
It could happen. It could happen.
Tom, I heard that you and your partner, Bill Halleck, were able to get coverage of the San Jose AIDS Walk. Did you two flip a coin to see which of you got to be behind the camera?
Actually, we did, and I lost, and I was in front of the camera. But Bill did a great job with the camera. We love you, Bill.
We do. Okay.
Enough of that. Let's get started with Roberta's interview with Janet Childs.
Good evening. I'm Roberta Gonzalez-Gregg, and welcome to this portion of the show where we honor the diversity of the people in our community, people like us. I'm very blessed and honored to have with us tonight Janet Childs from the Center for Living with Dying. Thank you, Janet, for being with us tonight.
It's great to be here with you,
It's
Roberta.
really fantastic to have you as well. Now, here we are talking about, with such smiles on our faces, and talking about such a very difficult subject for many, many people. One of the things that comes to mind is, what do you say when someone has passed, and what do you say after "I'm sorry"?
You know, that's a great question, Roberta, and I think a lot of us in our culture live in a death and a grief-denying society. We don't get much permission to understand how to support each other or even how to get through grief ourselves, which is why the center began almost 30 years ago.
30 years ago,
Yeah.
That's amazing. And who was the founder?
Mary Ann Kelly, who had gone through 11 deaths in a 10-year period in her life, and really found that no one, not even professionals, really understood how to support her in grief. And going back to your question, what to say after "I'm sorry," many times the best thing to say is to say the honest truth. There's nothing I can say in the face of your loss, but I would like to be here and support you as you journey through your grief, and giving that person permission to talk about it. Many times people will call and tell us. I had a young man tell me whose partner died of AIDS not too long ago. He said, "No one says his name anymore. It's like he never lived, and he was the love of my life." And I thought, you know, that's how striking, how many times we don't have the opportunity to just acknowledge, you know.
I think especially in our community, where so many times we are not validated with our own persons, as well as our relationships in the world. I think this makes a big difference.
It absolutely does. And what happens is that when we're forced to deal with our grief alone, we try to take it inside and work through it alone, but it's very hard to do. And so when you have no safe place to take your grief, it often comes out in your body, and it often creates illness.
Okay. Also, you're the Director of Education.
Yes.
So there are different programs which you preside over at the center.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. The center provides support, both group and individual, for a variety of different groups. Basically, what we provide is that caring environment where you can journey through your grief in a safe and non-judgmental way. You can either have individual support, or we have grief support groups. We have our Circle of Care program, which is an HIV and AIDS support program, where we have an AIDS rejuvenation retreat 4 times a year that's absolutely free to the community, and anyone can come who's either infected or affected by HIV. And then we have our grief groups that are done with children and adolescents and youth, called our Healing Heart Youth program. And that's a very, very powerful program, because it's where young people who have many times gone through traumatic losses can come together and share with other people their same age.
Well, now here in our community, we always think of, or we tend to think of the loss through AIDS and HIV, but your group deals with a variety of losses.
All kinds. And whatever you can imagine. We deal with sudden and violent death. We deal with death through long-term illness. We deal with people that are in the dying process, or who have just been diagnosed with a serious illness. So anything from Lou Gehrig's disease to MS to cancer to sudden and violent homicide, suicide, and we do crisis intervention.
Do you find that each of these different situations in the loss of and grief, are they all unique in their own way?
They're all unique, and yet there's a universal theme. And I had a beautiful client express it very well, who had gone through many deaths. And she said, "You know what, Janet? My heart's like a hotel, and everybody I love has a room in my heart hotel. And when they die, no one can take their room. I can add on new rooms as I meet new people to love, but that room is always their room." And I asked her, "What do you do, Eleanor, with that empty room?" And she said, "I fill it up with the love and the memories that we have, that even death can't take away from me." And that's the healing part of grief, is
that's
we
very
have
poetic.
to acknowledge the grief,
Yes.
and also acknowledge the love and the memories we can keep. So it's like a sifting process. So it's a lot more complicated than just letting go of the pain, because we don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We don't want to lose the memories and the sweetness.
No, we don't. We don't. We have so many memories of our loved ones, so that's nice to hang on to that. Now, you say that you have an upcoming ceremony. It's called the lighting ceremony, December the 14th. Please tell us quickly about that.
Yes, it's the Light of Lights candle lighting ceremony, where we get to honor our loved ones who have died, and a roll call of names is read, and we as community come together and light candles as the names of our loved ones are read, and then we keep that candle throughout the holiday season.
Oh, that's a lovely idea, and
It's
I think
a great
it's something that we can all attend. And that will be December the 14th at the center. Very, very good. Okay.
And all are welcome.
Thank you so much. We should let our viewers know that. In fact, you can look at your screen in just a moment here and see where you can contact the center and contact Janet if you like, or volunteer. Even better still, you can volunteer. You have over 100 volunteers.
25 volunteers,
and you've served in the community over 1 million people.
That's right.
That is amazing.
And we are now a part of the Bill Wilson Center, which is a great agency that provides a lot of support. So we're very pleased to be a program of the Bill Wilson Center.
Well, we're very pleased to have you on tonight. Thank you so much, Janet, for the work, the wonderful work that you and your group do in the community.
And remember, if you are grieving, be gentle with yourself and know that you have the right to grieve and the right for support.
Thank you, Janet.
Thank you.
Back to the show.
I'm Tom Smith, and tonight I'm delighted to be in the home of Dr. Michael Harbour, Assistant Clinical Professor at Stanford University. Dr. Harbour has a lot of gay males in his practice and a lot of HIV patients. And so tonight, that is our focus, and we're going to talk to Dr. Harbour about the new theories and the new treatments for HIV.
Okay.
What are those theories? Is there anything new that we should know about that looks promising for those of us who are HIV positive?
Well, we've had a number of therapies available now to us for about 10 years. and many patients have been able to take advantage of those different medications and new cocktails. But where the movement has been is developing newer meds that have less toxicity, that are more potent, they're easier to take, so less pills, less side effects, and also that can work well when patients have become resistant to their previously taken medications.
I recall in the 80s it was AZT, then it became the cocktail, and so now are these the new treatments that are available?
Yeah, we still use AZT to this day. It's actually a very effective medication. It has a lot of connotations with previous side effects when it was given in much higher dosages. So many people have those ideas in their head and they want to stay away from that. But within the same class of drugs like AZT, we have newer medications that work quite well, that don't have nearly the side effects, and are very potent and bring down one's HIV viral load, and when in doing so, their T cells respond by going up.
How do you deal with the high cost of these medications, and how do your patients afford them?
But all the drugs are expensive. All insurance companies will pay for these drugs, and if somebody does not have insurance, then ADRAP, which is the AIDS Drug Assistance Program here in California, will go ahead and pick that up if you meet certain criteria, economic criteria.
If I was diagnosed with HIV today, how would you counsel me about my life expectancy?
Diagnosed today with HIV, they will often ask me, what is my life expectancy? And really, I can't tell them that it would be any shorter than what any other person who doesn't have HIV would be. Where we're seeing still patients who are quite ill are those who have been around since the beginning. They took one drug at a time, followed by another drug, so they did serial monotherapy, and they became resistant to each drug. And then when the cocktail came around, they didn't respond as well because they had resistance to some of the basic
some
components.
Of the elements in the cocktail.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, and then when patients become resistant to certain components, there's cross-resistancies that occur to many other drugs as well. So they haven't been able to take advantage of that. So that's where a lot of the newer medications are going towards, finding resistance or preventing resistance or treating through resistance so these patients can do well like other patients.
What advice would you give to a sexually active person to avoid exposure to HIV infection?
The preventive advice is still the same, that you need to talk to your patient, or partner rather, talk to them about their HIV status, take the appropriate precautions not to become infected, so certainly as safe sex practices as possible, using condoms for any type of intercourse or penetrative sex. People often think that oral sex is safe sex, but still in certain studies we show that HIV patients can infect non-HIV patients with oral sex. So I let patients know that that is not foolproof and that they need to not put themselves at risk like that.
Here's information on how to contact Dr. Michael Harbour. Thank you for appearing on our show, Michael. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, you're welcome.
AIDS and the HIV virus has ravaged our world. The tiny HIV virus is a reality every person on Earth must face. It's important to know your status, know if you're positive or negative. In the San Francisco Bay Area, there are many facilities offering HIV services. In the South Bay, San Jose area, anonymous HIV testing is held at the Billy DeFrank Gay Lesbian Center. Free anonymous testing is available every other Wednesday at the DeFrank Center from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Look for the mobile testing van. We have a long way to go from preventing AIDS and HIV infection transmission. Practicing safer sex with condom use is #1 in stopping HIV infection. Meeting people with the same frame of mind is also just as important. The San Francisco Stop AIDS Project is a resource for gay and bisexual men to meet. This organization hosts preventative meetings to come together and talk about the HIV topic. The San Francisco Stop AIDS Project also serves the positive community living in San Francisco. It's important to have someone to trust, and the SF Stop AIDS Project is there for its community. There are so many questions regarding AIDS and HIV. Where does one go to get HIV counseling? Well, the San Francisco AIDS Foundation has established a website that is aimed to help you in preventing HIV. Simply by logging on to their website, sfaf.org, your computer can become your reference to safer sex practices, along with medical practitioners in your area waiting to help you stop AIDS and HIV transmission. HIV and AIDS, a tiny virus that has ravaged our world. Use your local resources, stay informed, know your status, and stop HIV from taking your world.
If you would like to write to us here at Outlook Video, the address is Outlook Video, P.O. Box 390996, Mountain View, California, 94039.
To contact us by telephone, call 408-293-3040, extension 205.
Or you can send email to comments@outlookvideo.org.
To learn more about Outlook Video, point your web browser to our webpage at www.outlookvideo.org.
Ready for your close-up? Want to get more mileage out of this year's costume? Here's your casting call for the 2005 dance-along Nutcracker. Lights, camera, dance, which takes Tchaikovsky on a zany romp through Tinseltown as the San Francisco Lesbian Gay Freedom Band pays homage to music of the movies. This annual event, with its inspired foolishness and tomfoolery on a grand and witty scale, lets you, the audience, concoct your own choreography and costume beneath the colored spotlights at the Yerba Buena Center for the Arts. Saxophonist Buddy Symes from the San Francisco Lesbian Gay Freedom Band is here on my casting couch to talk about this over-the-top San Francisco holiday tradition. And Buddy, I hear you give good sax.
Wow, all right. Well, you know, Raymond, I wanted to thank you for all the many years that you've been a huge supporter of the band.
Oh, thanks.
You know, we've done marching parades, we've done community concerts, and I see you there, and it's just a thrill to be here, and thanks for having me on your show tonight.
Talk about the Dance-Along Nutcracker.
Well, I only have 1 year of the Dance-Along Nutcracker under my belt, but you know what? I'm never going to miss one from here on out. It's a huge, fantastic event in that anyone who ever wanted to be the little diva ballerina let that out, and they're the Sugar Plum Fairy. The music of the Nutcracker is immediately recognized as a traditional holiday thing, and you hear the music and you're inspired to dance, and with the band you're allowed to get up and dance along. That's the whole point.
Talk about some of the costumes.
Well, my understanding is the costume is always a huge surprise to the audience because the theme changes each year, and so the band is dressed in normal black and white for a certain part of the set, and then later on they all change into costume into some of the most outrageous San Francisco inspired outfits. It's spectacular. I have no idea what they're going to be doing, but it's a surprise. So
last year it was fairy tales, and what were you dressed as?
Well, I was dressed as a piglet, a pretty piglet.
From which fairy tale story?
From the Three Little Pigs, and you know, the wolf. And that, so, you know.
Oh, who's the big bad wolf?
The big bad wolf was a big bad, must have been the tuba player, I'm not sure.
Right. I remember the year before it was, I think it was musicals, and we had Doug Litwin dressed up as in Hairspray. He had a wig piled high, and I think we're showing the picture here, and I like to call that picture the higher the hair, the closer to God.
Oh, okay.
Talk about your love as a performer, as an openly gay artist.
Well, thank you. You know, music is definitely part of my life, and I enjoy experience live music. And amateur music is something that does not necessarily mean low quality. And community music is definitely close to my heart. And for 10 years, I was the director of the Silicon Valley Gay Men's Chorus, and bringing music to the community, the love of interacting with other people and being something bigger than oneself, especially in a choir. Every voice counts. And so that has really translated to the community that I feel with the band.
Well, thank you for coming down to talk with us, Buddy.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you at the next dance-along.
Absolutely. I can't wait.
And you can make total fools of yourselves in this annual family-safe environment. Bring both of your left feet to the Dance-Along Nutcracker at the Yerba Buena Center for the Arts at Mission and 3rd Streets in San Francisco, Saturday and Sunday, December 10 and 11 for a total of 4 performances. For more information on the dance-along and how to rent a tutu, point your toes and web browsers to sflgfb.org or call 415-978-2787. Merry Christmas.
Hi, I'm Tom Smith, and I'm here in downtown San Jose today for the 16th annual Silicon Valley Walk for AIDS. We're committed to fight this disease, and we're here today, and we're going to be walking and interviewing and talking to people. Come join us. It'll be a great time.
The event continues to go on, and I can't tell you how much from my heart that it's so wonderful to see so many young people, because it's you who really have to deliver the message about HIV and AIDS to all of those people who are young and don't know all there is to know about this disease, particularly as it deals with prevention. This is still a disease that we can prevent through education, and it's so important that we can talk to our peers about HIV and AIDS and make sure that they do everything they can to protect themselves and their partners.
I'm here with Councilman Ken Yeager at the Walk for AIDS. He just gave us a rousing speech to send everybody off. So, Ken, tell us about your commitment to the AIDS Walk.
Well, I've been participating in the AIDS Walk since it began in 1992 and still have all my old t-shirts, and it's just great to be out here with so many young people. They really are the ones who have to carry the message to their peers about HIV and AIDS, particularly prevention and education.
Yeah, I like what you had to say in your speech when you said it's education that's the key, and the kids today are the ones who have to bring that message out.
Yeah, and the fact that there's really thousands of young kids out there, lots of high school kids, college kids, is really very heartening. It means that the message is getting through, that we also have a lot of kids who are committed to helping the community, and they're being involved in causes such as preventing AIDS.
Right, well, thanks for leading by example and for being here today. And here we go with the walkers. I'm here with Sheila at the AIDS Coalition of Silicon Valley. They're here today with their friends and your dogs. Tell us about that.
Hi there. We're from the firm of McManus, Faulkner & Morgan. We also have team members from the Rainbow Committee and Law Foundation, as you can see on the t-shirt. Sorry about that.
Nice.
And we do this every year. We get a large group together, get our special t-shirts, and we come out, we raise some money for the cause and have a great time.
That's great. Now, how many years have you been doing this?
Oh my goodness. I've been at the firm for 5 years, and I've been doing it every year. We've been doing it probably 10 or more, at least.
Well, that's great. Thank you for leading by example and being here, bringing your dogs, bringing your kids. Wonderful. I'm happy to be here this morning with Paul Boneberg, the Executive Director of the Silicon Valley AIDS Walk.
Yes, glad to be here. AIDS Coalition Silicon Valley is the producer of the AIDS Walk Silicon Valley.
And this is your first year doing this, or have you done this before?
Well, the walks, of course, occurred for 16 years, but I'm a new executive director. I've only been there 4 months, so this is my first walk, and it's exciting to see.
Wow, had you walked before and then you got involved? Is that how?
Yes, I've walked. I mean, I've done AIDS work for a very long time, and so the group was looking for a way to move forward. You know, AIDS has changed a lot in the last 20 years, and it's changed a lot in the 16 years since this walk has begun. And so my job is in part to help the agency think about how we respond to AIDS for this time.
Great. Well, we thank you for being here and putting on the event, and we'll see you next year.
Of course, you'll see us next year. You'll see the walk next year. I think we had an immensely successful event. I think Santa Clara County wants there to be successful AIDS walks, and we just have to figure out how to design it in a way that's fun. It raises a lot of money for our benefiting agencies, and that's what we're doing.
I have the privilege to be here at the 16th annual Silicon Valley AIDS Walk with Vice Mayor Cindy Chavez. Cindy, it's great to see you.
Thank you. It's exciting to be here today.
And why are you walking today?
Well, I am a big believer that the only way to make change is to get involved. And one of the great things about the AIDS Walk is you get to know other people, you can raise money for an incredible cause, and as importantly, we're educating the public about the AIDS pandemic.
That's great. Thank you for leading by example and for being here today. It's wonderful to see you here. I'm here at the AIDS Walk today with April and the Raiders.
Hi!
Now, what school do you guys cheer for?
Silver Creek High School.
That's great. And how many of you are here today?
There's about 17.
This is great. You guys get to be the cheerleading group at the front of the walk to set people off on their way. That's very exciting.
Yeah, it is. We've been enjoying doing this for, I think it's our second or third year.
That's great. That's great. Well, it's great to have you here today and to help with this great, worthy cause and to send people off and get them all excited. So thanks. This is Tom Smith, and it's the end of another AIDS Walk in beautiful downtown San Jose. We got to see a lot of fun people, and we hope you enjoyed our coverage. But for now, we're tired, but that's okay. We're going to be here every year until there's a cure. So for Outlook Video in downtown San Jose, this is Tom Smith.
Well, that's our show for this month. In closing, our World AIDS Day show, we volunteers of Outlook Video ask you to reflect on the serious challenges that HIV/AIDS brings to our community.
We all need to use our creativity and energy in the continuing struggle against HIV/AIDS. Each of us can help. No effort is too small. Thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you again next month.